No, go. Ah, there it is. Hey, welcome to part 2 of our Charity Tuesday show. We are now after dark. Sorry, I had to leave abruptly. It was bad. My neighbor had a pretty bad accident. She fell down the stairs and snapped her leg, and they had to rush her off to the hospital. And had to watch her kids and until her husband and her mom could get there, take care of them. So that's what I did today. I watched 3 Disney movies? Aladdin. We did Jungle Book, and we got most of Little Mermaid. So I watched 3 Disney movies today. And wasn't any of the new ones. I haven't seen any of the new ones. Why couldn't they have? What's what they wanted to watch. So we're still trying to do Charity Tuesday and finish raising our $1,000 for prostate cancer research for the Prostate Cancer Research Institute since it's Movember. And we can do lots of good for them with our Charity Tuesday. We did almost $500 before I had to run off. And we're at we got another $23 here. So we're another 4% on our way to the total of our goal. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just had my first meal in a while, and I'm going to be hopefully not belching too much on you. Okay. Round 2. We're doing it. All right. We got people from Alabama. We got JB Ord 2. JMJ Gaming's here. Beans Brigade. I want to thank Thamada for donating. I want to thank Anonymous for donating. Always On donated. So we got some people kicking it off here for finish up our Charity Tuesday After Dark special. And I'm going to make some more burp juice here. Okay. All right. I got turn my intro off, leave my intro on. I'm going to turn my intro off. You only get one. You only get one mistake today. Okay. You don't get a new shiny shirt. Sorry, I'm always on. You'll get one tomorrow. There'll be another one for the Wednesday show tomorrow. I got a few more. I got at least 1, 2, 3, 4. I got maybe 6 more shiny shirts, 7 more shiny shirts to go for Shiny Shirt Week, the longest week of the year. Okay. Kyle Griffith asks, Houston, do you have any thoughts on NASA and SpaceX trying to hit an asteroid? Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. I like explosion science. July 4th, 2005, we did Deep Impact, where we took an 800-pound copper slug and we slammed it into a comet just to kind of see it explode and see what it was made of. That was cool science, man. They hit that thing at like 60,000 miles an hour. This time around, they're hitting an asteroid that's about the size of a soccer stadium. And their goal is to see if they can hit it hard enough that'll push it off trajectory enough degrees to divert its course with any meaningful impact. And because basically what we have is the odds are low that an extinction level event could happen during humanity's life cycle. But extinction level events happen about once every 100 million years or so. There are impacts that can destroy entire cities about once every 1,000 years. And once every 50 to 100 years, you've got events like the Tunguska event in Siberia, or the one that was over that Russian city in 2013, where it explodes in the atmosphere and can cause some serious damage. If that one that exploded in 2013 had done it, a couple miles up, it would have just killed everybody in that city. You'd look at 1 million dead. It'd be like a nuclear bomb going off. But it exploded at 20 miles up, and that saved everybody their lives. It blew out a bunch of windows and ruptured some eardrums. Okay. And hey, Houston, do you think AMC could follow GME option play, and they tend to copy each other? Generally, they do. One usually kind of jumps in front of the other and then follows. I don't see why not. Finish my Safeway Select Cola. We are done. Yeah, they always do that and then do that. So, yeah. G Fount YYC. Houston, ever hike Mount Rainier? My bro and I are considering it. Yes, I've hiked it many times. I climbed it when I was in summer after 8th grade, so I was 14. Climbed the top with YMCA camp group. It was rad. I recommend doing, like, if you have a chance to climb Mount Rainier, go for it. The view's amazing. I did it. It was in August, I believe. And I haven't been to the top since. I've been fairly high up because I did 1 year turns all year where you try to ski at least once a month for an entire year. And so when you get to the summer months, you go up to Camp Muir on Mount Rainier to go skiing up there. And I remember, so my best friend and I, where it's sunny, it's lovely, you know, wearing shorts and a t-shirt. We're at probably 11,000 feet and having lunch. And this guy walks up to us, definitely a flatlander, probably from like Nebraska or something. He's got his brand new red and black checkered flannel shirt, his brand new cargo shorts, his brand new wool socks, his brand new hiking boots. And he comes up to just start bullshitting with us. He's like, so how far is it to the top? And my friend's just like, you would die. Don't try it. No, really, like how far? Like it's a couple thousand feet from here? And I was like, dude, you'd die. You will not make it. Oh, it's not that far. We're already at like 11,000 feet. Like how much further could it possibly be? Like you would die. You would die and it would be horrible and no one would be able to reclaim your body. You would die. And he kept like, oh, it's not that far. I mean, I could, do it in a day? And finally my friend's like, buddy, we're at 11,000 feet. It is 22 degrees outside. You go in the shade, you will freeze to death. The only reason you're surviving right now is because you're in the sunshine. You would die. Give it up. Oh, rumph. They did not make that guy wanted us to tell him that, you know, he'd be no problem. You can get up there by lunch and be right back. No, you would die. Mount Rainier, I think, has claimed more mountain climbers than any other mountain in the world, I believe. Because it's you know, not 28,000 feet, it's 14,000 feet, but the weather can be really gnarly and the rocks give way because there's lots of acid that percolates through the acidic gases that percolate through the rocks, and they just, the fact that the glaciers are giving way and the snowpack is lessening every year, these rocks are just cascading down all the time. But there are safer routes. Like, don't do the Liberty route. Do one of the safer routes if you're going to climb Mount Rainier. I recommend it. People are like, keep your intro on. Just keep your intro on. Whoa, we're up to $100. Oh, fantastic. All right. Anonymous, Sean Alexander, Anonymous, and Talvin, thank you so much for jumping in and donating. This is great. Yeah. Sweet. Have you ever had a chance to ski on Mauna Kea? That's from Fried Tater Explosion. I have skied on Mauna Kea. Done a little bit of skiing. Mostly we just took boogie boards up and went sledding on Mauna Kea. Have I told this story before about sledding up there? I can't remember. So when I worked up there as like a star tour guide for the visitors information station, you become friends with all the rangers that work up there. And one time it snowed, and it snowed a lot, like, I don't know, 6 or 10 feet, just a bunch of snow up there. So basically you can pick a snowfield and sled down and climb up, or you can, if you do skiing, you have one friend drive a pickup truck and everyone goes skiing down to the bottom, hop in the back of the pickup truck, drives back up the top, we go skiing down. That's kind of like the lift. And the Rangers hated every minute of it. It's just people hurting themselves constantly. And there was a girl, she was snowboarding for her first time ever, and she went snowboarding down the mountain, didn't know how to stop, and then she flew off a road cut, which was like a 20-foot drop on the other side, and landed on the road, like flat on her board, and just shattered both her legs, like powder. Both of them, just 1,000 pieces of bone. Absolutely just horrible. And she's laying there, and her legs are just jello. So the Rangers, you know, come and try to assist her. They're calling a helicopter, and the helicopter's coming from Wahoo. And, you know, it's an hour, maybe more, for the helicopter to get there. And while the helicopter is flying over, there's a pickup truck full of snow. So the Hawaiians love to fill their pickup truck with snow, drive down to the beach and have a snowball fight in the beach, because why not? It's Hawaii. And the truck is going down the switchbacks, and apparently it wasn't in low gear. It wasn't in four-wheel drive. And overheated the brakes and flew over a switchback and just rolled down the mountain. So the helicopter that this girl's been waiting for like an hour or more just flew over her, went down and went to the wreck down below and rescued those guys, and had to send a second helicopter to come rescue her. Absolutely gnarly. And then there was another guy, maybe a year or two prior than that. So you go sledding on the side of the road. because you slide down to the road, you can always catch a ride or whatever. This guy went on the other side and flew down on a boogie board and just vanished. And no one knew where he was, and search parties were looking for him. And it turns out he went down the mountain, flying down the mountain on the boogie board for like a mile, and then took a face full of lava rock and was just unconscious for like a week out in the backside. And they didn't have, there was no flat spot from the land to helicopter, and they didn't have enough like rope to haul him up. So they had to do like piece by piece, haul him up the mountain. Yeah. Whew. But in the 60s, they apparently bulldozed a bunch of Mauna Loa, and they're hoping to put in a seasonal ski resort, and then the snowpack. Used to have a permanent winter snowpack, and yeah. So, but that all backfired because they didn't get this permanent snowpack anymore. Okay. Houston, ever play Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen? Interesting space explorer action games from JMG. I have not played either of those. I am so far behind on video games. I actually played a little bit of Mario Kart tonight with the neighbor kids. I destroyed them. As you should never go easy on children when it comes to video games. I do not believe in that. I believe in absolutely showing them who dominates and proving that without a doubt. Otherwise, how are they ever going to learn, right? But no, I've not played those Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen. Okay, maybe we'll get a second video game this year because Elite, what was it again? Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen. All right. Video games. Okay. All right. I'll put that on there. Hi, Houston. What are your thoughts on Gasparino and Cohode's ideas? Is this about the NFT he wants AMC to deliver? I don't think AMC can do it. I think they'll talk to the lawyers, and lawyers will be like, yeah, don't chance it. Because it'll be seen as a dividend, no matter if it has to do with cash or not. It'll be seen as a dividend. And where they're registered, they are not allowed to issue a dividend until they clear their debt. So, either they got to change headquarters somewhere that will allow them to do a dividend without having $5 billion in debt, or clear their debt. That's kind of what I think they got to do. One of those two. Yeah. Okay. Bullish. Bullish is back. Fantastic. Misael Julian, what's with Coinbase crashing? Coinbase is crashing? The stock price or the actual Coinbase itself? That crashed again. Okay. Well, let's see here. Let's see if my Coinbase is working. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, nothing seems to be happening. Oh, wait. Oh, there it goes. Well, that seems to be working. Well, that worked. I don't know. Regular Coinbase? Are you fine? Coinbase Pro, Coinbase Wallet, and regular Coinbase. And, I don't know. That else seems to be working. I don't know. Did it crash earlier and I just didn't know about it? It's happened before. The day they brought SHIB on board, they crashed a whole bunch, and I missed out on like $10,000 because I couldn't transfer my coins over. Drive with Valerian. Hi, Houston. I'm considering moving to Washington State. All right. Looking at a house in Longview, Washington on Thursday. Any opinions on Longview, the area in general, or recommendations for the areas you like most? Oh, man, Longview. So Longview was a coal mining town, and let's just put it this way. The Green Day song, Longview, is about being so bored in Longview that all you can do is masturbate all day long. That's what that song was about. So, it's beautiful. It's green, rolling hills, lush. But it's not the best employment options in Longview since the coal mine shut down. It's kind of like little mini West Virginia of Washington. There is... Hey, dog, quit licking my feet. Come on, move it. Come on, back up. Sorry, weirdo. You weirdo. Come on, get up on your other thing. Get up on your thing. Get up there. Quit licking my heels, you weird dog. Okay. Yeah, I mean, cost of living, as far as Washington is concerned, Longview is a lot cheaper, and it's going to be green and lush, but it's not the most exciting place to live. You are, hour and a half from Portland, hour and a half, 2 hours from Seattle. The Columbia River is pretty close by. That's pretty. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But other places, I recommend more in the Puget Sound if you're going to live in Western Washington, or be closer to Portland and be in Vancouver or like Camas or something. Those are places in Western Washington I would go for. Longview's kind of like in between, and I don't know, just a little methy, if you know what I mean. Just a skosh methy. You can do better. You can do better than Longview. Just listen to the Green Day song and go, okay. Okay. My stupid chat keeps resetting every single time, and I can't see. They don't have the bright colors of the super chats, so I can see where I am. Okay, that's the Longview question. Moas for Yoas Houston, what's your favorite weird food combination? I'll tell you the one thing that totally just absolutely my mind didn't realize that was a thing. I remember one time being at a salad bar and like getting a salad, and then I have Italian dressing. Put that on there. And then there's a hard-boiled egg, and I put a hard-boiled egg on there. And the Italian dressing got all over the hard-boiled egg and was dynamite. It was so good. Holy cow. And then I started like using salad dressing to marinate things. That was always delicious after that. I was like, why not just dump salad dressing on it? What are weird food combos? I mean, I'm a weirdo and I like pineapple on everything. A lot of people are like, oh, pineapple on pizza. I'll put pineapple on everything. Pineapple is delicious. I don't care. I'll cook steaks with it. I'll make pies out of it. Put pineapple on everything. Yeah. What else? What are weird food combos? Chocolate goes with a lot of weird things. What weird things have I done with chocolate? Well, I mean, what other weird things do I like, Monkey? When I was a kid, I really liked taking my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and dipping it in milk. I don't know if other people did that, but I thought it was delicious. And that's how I ate my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What weird food combos do you guys do? I know a lot of people like ranch dressing and pizza or something. I'll eat ranch if it's available, but it's not my dip of choice or my dressing of choice. Doss W. Houston, thoughts on Lehman Brothers? Seems like they're coming back. Yesterday up 865%. Good for them. Yeah, the zombie stocks had a big jump yesterday, which tells me that's probably has something to do with the cycle theory. Because Sears was down to a penny a couple weeks ago and is at 15 cents today. So, it shot up 1,500%. The thing is that we don't have access to these stocks. They are on the expert market, and the experts don't seem to know what the hell they're doing. So, yeah. Oops. Air Jordan Neil 711. Houston, thoughts on BBig? BBig is, I think, a deal right now. Where if you had stock on October 22nd, that was the date of record, and you are going to get their dividend, and their dividend is going to be shares in another company. And that company spins off December 27th? 5th? 6th? Yeah, I think 27th. Monday the 27th. So there might be, if they're probably still shorted like crazy. I think that the reports coming at S3 were like 200% shorted. So when those shares get issued, it might cause a big old squeeze on BBig, and I'm hoping it does, because I bought it like $7 and something, and it's now at $3 and something. I would like to have it go up from there. J-Dogs, been up to Camp Muir twice. Stepping on the crevices was gnarly. Yeah. The crevices in the glaciers are super scary. My friend Eric, who is now a professor at Stanford in paleontology, I remember when I think we were in high school, he'd gone up hiking up there and was sitting on the edge of a crevasse, and his backpack slipped and just fell into the darkness and just gone. 500-foot drop into this glacier. No one's getting it. It's gone. And like a year later, his mom gets this phone call. It's like, hey, is this Eric? Is this Eric's house? Yes. Tell him I found his backpack and I'm keeping everything. Click. So some guy was going through an ice cave, found his backpack, and he's like, mine. And had like, please contact information. The guy found it, contacted, said he's keeping everything. Nanotechie, how is Shiny Shirt Week? Shiny Shirt Week's fantastic. We've got Cambodian glory going here with gold stitching. I don't know if you can't see the gold. It doesn't show up, I don't think, too gold too well, but it is shiny and glorious. And it's my only button-down shirt that doesn't actually have a collar. It's, I think it's supposed to be buttoned up all the way, but it's a little tight on the neck. Probably the biggest shirt that Cambodia makes. And more people in here saying the Melvins rule. They do. King Buzzo. Buzz Osborne. Buzz Melvin. They're the Melvins rule. Billy Illy. Good morning. More music for you. Celtic folk metal called Eluviti? Something a little different. All right, put that on the music list. I'll take weird Celtic metal. L-U-V-I. Where was it? V-E-I-T-E-I. V-E-I-T-I-E. L-U-V-T. Veti? Veti. L-U-V-T. I assume that's Gaelic of some kind? I don't know. All right. Oh, we're up to $163. Let's do some thank yous. Clean Me Up Scotty, Talvin 4, Oat Milk Man. We got someone just called donated, or some, no name donated. Awesome. Justin My Head, Kevin Hall donated. Daphne Berry, thank you so much. We're up to $163. We are 22 minutes into part 2 of our show that got interrupted. We're on our way to our $1,000 total. So we're about $650 towards that $1,000 total that I set up to try and do with the first show today. Yeah. All right. Nanotechie. Oh, it's the East Coast one. Okay, sorry. I read that one. Bill Coyne added more GME shares from the profits before the drop. Good day. Sweet. Nil 21981. Houston Al from Boston thinks there are 20 billion synthetics for AMC and thinks this can go way past 100K. Thoughts? I mean, there could be 20 billion synthetics. I don't know if there's that many. That's a really big number. I am going to try and have him either on the show next week or go on his show next week. So we'll chat about it. We talked today about possibly, I think, Tuesday next week. So there'll be time sometime Tuesday next week. Either he'll come on mine or I'll go on his, and we'll figure it out. But we'll chit chat about that and see what he's got to think. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear his analysis, statistical analysis as to why 20 billion. I know when they were first doing the tallying for that, the vote for that earnings call back in June or somewhere in there, that they had 40,000 people had registered, and it had registered like 100 million shares or something, which extrapolated out for the 4.1 million owners meant like 19 billion synthetic shares. That's wild. It's very possible that something like that is that big, but my brain still it's having a hard time wrapping its head around just how many shares that is. Yeah. Shaney says, if you get Star Citizen, get the cheapest ship. Lots of peeps, myself included, will let you crew or borrow ships. I have no idea what that means, but noted. Ooh, all right. Got first coordinates of the After Dark show from Justin My Head. Let's get the Google Earth up here. Let's go there. Let's go to Google Earth. Get in there. Oh yeah, we're still in the TARDIS from earlier. Apparently, there's a spot in London where you're next to a blue police box, and you click the button, and you're inside the TARDIS, which allows you to see all sorts of things. I mean, look at these suckers. Got little planet constellations up there. Pretty rad. Okay, just in my head. Where are we going? There we go. All right, we're flying. We are flying. Wait a minute. That didn't change. Copy. Come on. Click. Control V. Go somewhere. All right, flying. We're going across the ocean. We're going to Merca. We're going somewhere in the desert. We are... Oh, we're at the... Is this the bombing range? No, what is this thing? What the heck? What are you? He's some sort of Masonic symbol. Something in the middle. What's down there? What are you in the middle? Is there a hut? What is that? How come I didn't know about this before? Nope. Exit ground level view. Let's zoom out. Where are we? All right, we got this weird eyeball thing. We are in... Oh, Goldfield. Okay, so this must be the Tonopah bombing range. That's Goldfield, Tonopah there. So that must be part of the bombing range, because this is all military in here. So I wonder if they built this as some sort of target for planes to drop stuff on. That's cool. Do not go driving through here. You will blow up. There's so much unexploded ordnances in there, and there's tons of ghost towns you can't get to. They're in these hills and old mines and things. It's all bombs. Like this whole area between these two highways, between 95 and 375, just bombs. You get to Las Vegas. So, yeah. Tonopah is really cool. Goldfield's awesome. Goldfield is one of the coolest ghost towns in America. Like, look how big this 200 city blocks. And 10 years ago, there was pretty much no one at all. You drive through here, there wasn't anything. Now there's a couple of hippies trying to sell like art and yard sculptures and stuff, and maybe a coffee shop or two. But it really used to just be desolate 10 years ago. Goldfield had a population of about 30,000, and at one time was home to the World Championships of boxing. So, what was his name? I'm gonna have to do a quick Google search because his name's totally escaping me. Goldfield Boxing Championship. Gans Nelson fight. Yeah. Okay. So Joe Gans. So Joe Gans was the first like African American boxing champion, and he was supposed to fight in a world championship. This is a connection to my hometown of Bainbridge. He was supposed to fight in a world championship, and it got postponed. They ended up coming to my island, to Bainbridge Island, and fighting. There was like a resort that burned down sometime before World War II, and there was a resort that was out on this pier over the water, and they held one of the boxing championships there as the warm up for this 1906 Gans Nelson fight, and they held this championship as an outdoor arena in Goldfield, because Goldfield is supposed to be like the next big San Francisco, whatever. It's going to be huge. And then the gold mine played out and everyone left. But they held the championship there, and it was broadcast on the radio. And was it broadcast on the radio? Broadcast Morse code? Oh, shit. Can't remember. But a reporter asked his mother, Joe Gans' mother, about the fight. And this is where the term "bring home the bacon" came from. She said something about Joe's going to bring home the bacon. And that was the turn of phrase that got coined. When people say I'm going to bring home the bacon, it was from that fight that happened in Goldfield. Joe Gans and was it Nelson? Let's go. We'll go Chrome. We'll go Google Earth. Oops. Sorry. Gans Nelson fight. Yeah, Goldfield, Nevada. 42 rounds. September 3rd, 1906. 42 rounds. What? for a world championship. That's knucking futz. December 3rd, 1906. Crazy. Yeah. So like the first big fight that was held in Nevada. They're in Goldfield. Dude, $30,000 purse. Pretty rad. Read all about it. Yeah, that just bought 42 rounds. They did fight for like a week. Is that a cricket match? What is going on? I don't know. But anyway, cool spot. I hadn't seen that part of that bombing range with that weird, I don't know, cultish Illuminati symbol. But as long as I talk about Goldfield, I'll talk about Goldfield. Shane E. Star Citizen is incredible in scale and ambition, but still an alpha and can be frustrating and buggy. If you don't have patience for that, wait on it. Okay, noted. Star Citizen. I never heard of it, so I don't know. I have a roommate that plays some sort of star game where there's like an infinite number of planets. When you land on it, you catalog it and whatever, and the AI just builds new planets, and anyone else shows up can like find your artifacts 1,000 years from now. I don't remember what it's called though. Just in my head, thoughts on crop circles. I would say most crop circles are man-made. Although I do remember it's like a 60 Minutes or something years ago, back in the 90s when the crop circles were a big thing. They had somewhere in England, there was a ridge and there was a field on one side, field on the other side. And these folks were spending all night watching the fields, trying to see who was causing these crop circles. And so the person from 60 Minutes was there, and they're interviewing this person, and he's talking, and then when they turn around, a whole field of crop circles had appeared that weren't there a minute earlier. I have no idea how legitimate that is, but in my head I was like, that doesn't make any sense. How would they do that? But the crop circles are like there's crop circles where people go out and they pushed it down and they make the thing, but there's also ones where you got the stalk of whatever you are pushing over, and if you push it over, it pushes over at the root. But then there's ones that are like broken an inch or two off the ground all around, and it's really weird, and I can't explain it. I'm sure there's lots of pranksters making crop circles, but there's also some that just don't seem logical to me. Tom Zyrlatka? I'm going to butcher everyone's name. Can't hedge funds buy a few real shares and trade them back and forth till they cover? No. Because how synthetics get created are kind of three different ways. There is the synthetic that is from borrowing. So someone's got the shares, you borrow them, and synthetics are generated in their account. And so the only way you can close that position is to buy the real shares and replace those synthetics with it, and it closes the position. Then there is the failure to deliver, which is you sell a share and you don't deliver anything, and the brokerage has to go and find the share somewhere in the brokerage, and they borrow it and replace it with a synthetic in order to give a real share to another brokerage that had purchased, that brokerage had purchased the share. Then there's the manufacturing of naked shares, just selling counterfeit shares that you have no intention to deliver the real thing. You're just going to deliver the fake ones. So you can't shoot it back and forth and close positions because they are IOUs that go all over the place. So the only way they can close is to either buy the synthetic and delete it from existence, or buy the real thing and then take it and replace the synthetic so it vaporizes from existence that way. Those are the only ways you can get rid of it. So you can't trade it back and forth if that's the case. Now, I'm sure there's folks that, like big institutions that lent out their shares. I'm sure that there's some of those that lent out 9 million shares or something. When they get the real shares, they may sell them, and then those real shares can go elsewhere because why not? They'll be making a fortune at that point too. Yeah, they're not going to be able to bounce them back and forth like they do when they're doing weird, payment for order flow and high frequency trading and things like that. Blind Bunny, nice beard. Oh, thank you. People were making fun of my beard yesterday, and all of a sudden people are saying nice beard. I don't grow anything right there. That's the one problem with my beard. It's kind of do. It's almost blonde, maybe. I don't know. Iggy Limon says a skosh methy is pretty accurate. Yeah, Longview is just a skosh methy, just a pinch, a touch, a nudge methy. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Valerian. I'm glad to give my thoughts. And the longest time I've spent in Longview is if I'm driving somewhere far away and I've got to stop at the Denny's and get pancakes in my belly or something before I go elsewhere. That's as much time as I spent there. There's a guy. He sent me a really cool. Let's see here. What did I do with it? What did I do with it? He sent me this thing. I packaged it back up because I didn't know what to do with it. But he found my name, so I did geology, and there was a geologist in Longview who, of course, I taped it up way too much. Houston, why would you tape it up so badly? Or so well? I don't know what to do with this. All right, cut the tape. I put way too many layers on this sucker. Come on, cut, you stinker. There we go. Houston's unboxing video. He found the geological writings of someone who worked in the mines there. And their last name was Wade. And he was wondering if they were related to me. So I said no. But he's like, hey, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to mail it to you. And it's pretty cool stuff. Let me just... How did I... This is all from Longview. This is field notes and things. So, DVD of mineral sites, but these are really cool. So this thing here, it's all full of mineral sites that the geologists around the turn of the century were looking for other things to mine near Longview. So we got maps, field notes, so maps of the area, hand drawn, like crazy cool hand drawn notes about where diggings are and bulldozer diggings and surface geology, and yeah, it's pretty wild. It's all from a man whose last name was Wade. So this dude's just like, man, you might be related to him, so here I have all this stuff. I don't know what to do with it. It's pretty cool. Probably should be in like a local museum down there. But it's really cool. It's you got hand drawn field notes of like dams and lakes in the area, and it's all alphabetized. It's pretty rad. It's got that delicious ancient paper smell. They found buffalo kill sites, and yeah, even stuff out in the Yellowstone River, looking for amethyst, finding sapphires, placer deposits of sapphires along the Missouri, which is, I have a sapphire claim along the Missouri. That's pretty cool. Notes in Maine, notes in Maryland, but the majority of it is here or in the Longview area. There's Medford. Spots where they found arrowheads, all sorts of minerals. It's pretty rad. I might have to just go through this thing, spend like a week going through it, but it's pretty cool. And I don't know, if you move to Longview, maybe we can hunt for stuff. see what this person found. Yeah. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's cool stuff out there, man. People do things, and I love to catalog it if I can. But today, a little just a skosh methy. Driver Valerian, unfortunately, I can't move anywhere where cars need smog tests. Therefore, Clark County, Vancouver, Camas, and Oshawa. Clark County has smog tests? I thought only King County had smog tests in Washington. We don't in Kitsap. You can drive the biggest piece of shit in the world in Kitsap County. That thing could be rolling coal, have no head gaskets whatsoever, and just be blowing fumes all day long, and no one cares. Get up on your chair, dog. Quit staring at me. But yeah, I thought only King County did, but maybe because Clark is next to Multnomah, they have to do smog checks. Curious about thoughts on the Merck antiviral COVID drug. The FDA is making a decision on the 30th for emergency approval. I'm sure there's going to be several. Pfizer has one. Merck has one. They're trying to get what's the name of the group? The ones that have the monoclonal antibodies. They did an experiment and showed that folks that have compromised immune systems, whether they had organ transplants or lupus or whatever, that they could give them monoclonal antibodies, and it acts almost like a vaccine. Yeah, they got to give it pretty regularly, but it's really expensive. But it could allow folks that are homebound because they can't leave during this thing to actually start to have lives again. Like my friend Brett, it's a heart transplant patient, and he hasn't been able to leave his house for 2 years. He's just stuck getting deliveries. I can't visit him. No one can. He's just stuck inside his house like a prisoner for 2 years now. And it'd be lovely to have some sort of way for him to be able to leave his home, because he has to take, pills that suppress his immune system so much so his body doesn't attack his heart and kill him. And, a normal head cold can kill the guy. So what the hell is COVID going to do to him? And I would love to be able to see my friends and hang out. So I hope those things, can work their way out. Julianne, I like eating chocolate ice cream with potato chips. Has anyone ever had a fat fried Elvis? Peanut butter, potato chips, banana, pork belly. It's what Elvis. So there was a restaurant in Seattle. Elvis would have 10 of these suckers flown to him every single day in Memphis. Just put on an airplane. They'd fly it to him. He would eat 100,000 calories of fat fried Elvises every single day, straight from the shop in Seattle, flown all the way to Memphis, and he died in the toilet with one of those on his lap. They are incredible. If I were a fat piece of shit, I could eat that sucker several times a day and just die in a toilet. A happy man, probably. Fat fried Elvis is delicious, and it's such a mixture of weird things, like peanut butter, banana, and potato chips. What are you thinking? Holy cow. That with pork belly just blew my mind. It's delicious. Peanut butter and tomato sandwiches is a bomb. People saying. Oh, another thing I would do is if I had, I like the oatmeal I like to eat as a kid. I like the maple and brown sugar oatmeal, and I would put a little bit of orange juice in that. That was always delicious. Just put a little orange juice in there, and so good. Fried Tater Explosion says oatmeal, butter, salt, and pepper. Be worth a shot. Yeah. Ken asks, should I put my GME shares in a computer share? Only if you want to. I'm not doing it because I want to sell my shares for a boatload of money, and in computer share it's going to be very difficult to sell them at the peak. So I own these shares with the intention of selling at the peak, so I'm not going to DRS mine. I'm just going to keep them in Fidelity and be happy. Iggy Limons. Julianne should try to dip the potato chips in chocolate and eating it with chocolate ice cream. It's a game changer. All right, I'm going to have to have some meals here. Yeah, okay. A lot of good ideas. A lot of good weird food ideas going on. We're up to 180 on our $500 late night goal. We probably have a bunch of people going to sleep and hoping some early morning Euros will wake up and jump in here. Projay's son, have you ever watched Billions? Amazing show about a nefarious hedge fund owner. Highly recommended. Get a chance to watch on Prime. Billions. I have not seen Billions. Billions on Prime. Okay. I don't know when I'm going to have a chance to like watch or do or read or listen to all these things, but someday I'm going to get through them. And that's what the MOAS is about. Basically, I'm going to make a giant list of things Houston's going to do when the MOAS happens, and I don't have to like work or do a show anymore. Like, I'm going to veg on this. I'm going to read this thing. I'm going to listen to my new metal and go from there. Bullish, here's another crypto NFA tip. Check out Jasmy, the future Bitcoin of Japan. By the way, Saitama back on track, best looking shirt by far. Yeah, Saitama had taken a big old jump, and then it dropped again. There's a guy. There's one single wallet. It's he's like the number 8 holder of Saitama, and he's just sells $1 million. Whenever the price starts to jump, he just dumps $1 million dollars worth in the market and just crashes the price back down. He's been doing it. $50 million worth so far. I think he's got another 20 million to go. And this morning the price was spiking back up again. It went up about 40%, 50%. And that wallet, once that dude woke up, started dumping coins again and driving the price back down. I don't know who it is, who at Saitama Coin made this guy angry, but he doesn't have too much more left in the tank to keep dumping. But yeah. Project Sun, funny, out of all the music loves you left out earlier, math rock. I tried getting into math rock. I just didn't. The beats are always just kind of weird. And just double kick drum me and play some scales, man. That's what I want on my rock and roll. The math rock was too, I don't know. They're complicating something that can be so simple. I never really got into math rock. Matt Johnson, thank you for donating. Ty Bolak, what was your buddy's expiration dates for GME options? Thanks. Are you talking about Gherkin? Gherkin is looking at the monthlies. So the monthlies expire on the third Friday of every month. And so we see a little jump on that third Friday, but then there's a gamma squeeze that happens the following week. So his entire plan is buy the weeklies the week of, wait for Tuesday or Wednesday when the price spikes on them, and then sell those weeklies for a profit. And then take that investment, do it again the next time around. So in December, it would be the week of Christmas, would be when those weeklies have a gamma squeeze. And then a month later, the week of January, was it 25th, somewhere in there, would be the next round. And that's because the January and December are not just monthlies, but they're yearly. So they are a set of options you can purchase more than a year out. And so there's a lot that can expire. So if there's any price movement and those suckers go in the money, there are a lot of shares, just a host of shares they have to find that do not exist to cover all those calls that they created. And that's kind of where we are. Bex, Houston, happy birthday. What tech is No Labs researching that gets you the most excited for their company? I mean, it's all based mostly around their tricorder device. I don't know what else to call it. I didn't really have a name for tech. And I can't talk about too much stuff because when I did do a tour, I did sign an NDA and I wasn't allowed to talk about certain things. But the things I can say is their device, like literally you tune it and you point at something and it will tell you what that thing is made of. Like you want to know if there's a bunch of gold in sand, you can point it and it will tell you, oh, there's 11 parts per million gold in this bucket of sand. It's pretty crazy. I was hoping to do a PhD and then COVID hit, and I was going to be out of South Queensland University in Australia. But I want to take this technology and put it into a drone or a helicopter, a plane, a satellite, and eventually just map mineralogical deposits around the world and be like, oh, because with enough wattage, you can peer really far into the earth with this thing, hundreds of feet. And it can give you an idea of where area of mineralization is. And that stuff is really cool. So what they're focusing on is these non-invasive glucose monitoring machines. They have it tuned to glucose, and you put the little Fitbit around your wrist, and it will read your glucose levels in real time, all times of the day. And it can hook up to your cell phone, and be like, hey, idiot, eat a cookie. Hey, take some insulin, whatever. And so you don't have to keep pricking your finger. And we see right now that I don't know if you've been reading the news articles, the test strips, the price has gone through the roof. Absolutely just insane how expensive test strips have gotten. So imagine no longer needing test strips. We've got 30 million Americans who are diabetic. Oh, just Americans. I'm not talking about anyone else in the world. So just 30 million Americans who are diabetic, and another 100 million who are pre-diabetic. Now, there's a lot of people that are not in the best health in America. And so imagine these folks that were before paying $1 a test strip and now paying tens of dollars a test strip because there's supply chain breakdown. They have this thing on their wrist and they never have to prick their finger again. They don't have to have insulin pumps, not any of this stuff. It just tells them when they need to do these things, and it's non-invasive. They're going to be, if they get FDA approval for this stuff, they are a $100 billion company like that. Because what they can do is everything will be paid for by insurance, right? Or Medicare, Medicaid. And you buy the device for $99 and then you have a $50 a month subscription. So if you have 30 million people having to spend, I don't know, $1.5 billion a month from their insurers for these devices, you are making $20 billion a year right off the bat in just subscription fees for these things. Because it's going to lower the number of folks who go into diabetic comas or lose limbs as a result, because they have real-time identifiers of their glucose levels. And then, once they have that money in their pockets, they can expand their R&D and do whatever they want with this tech and move into the Star Trek realm and expand on it and make multiple antennas at different frequencies and map all sorts of stuff. There's probably DARPA things they can do with it. They can, imagine taking a plane with one of those devices on it and a U-2 or an SR-71 and flying it over Iran and having it map all the nuclear radiation sites all over Iran that people are trying to hide underground. Like, this is the type of things you can do with this technology if you've got a big enough antenna and enough wattage. So there's definitely, a lot of tech that can come out of it. And No Labs is really cool. And Ron Erickson, who's the CEO, is really cool also. And his Corvette's bitching. What to say? His new Corvette is really cool. Protege's son, have you seen Shoot 'em Up? You talking about your movie preferences? Figure you love it. Oh, I love Shoot 'em Up. My roommate and I are rewatching all the Bourne films because he couldn't remember any of them. And the first Bourne film is the first time I really ever saw Clive Owen in anything. And 2010, I went to France, and my friend of mine had a Scottish pub in Paris. And it's kind of where all the expats would hang out. And if you were not French and you lived in Paris, you just hang out at this Scottish pub, the Old Lang pub. And while we were there was the Prix d'Arc de Triomphe, which is like one of the biggest horse races in the world. And every year, this pub, they shut down for the day. They rent a bus, and everyone hops on the bus and goes to the horse track and watches this huge horse race. And so all these expats and my friends and I was like, cool, dress up fancy and go to this horse race. And like Queen Noor of Jordan was there, and there's other famous people, and the French Foreign Legion marching band played. And I was talking with this guy who was a soap opera star from London, and he kind of like Lego man hair, and his buddy, talking with them. And I was talking with them, chit-chatting and pointing things out and watching horse races and talking about, I didn't know anything about horse racing or betting or whatever, but they're teaching me. And like 2 hours, 3 hours into it, my friend leans over and is like, do you even realize that you're talking to Clive Owen? And I'd be like hanging out with Clive Owen all day long. And I was like, oh, holy shit, that is Clive Owen. Oh, yeah. So anyway, my roommate and I are watching these movies, and I told him we have to watch Shoot 'em Up because Shoot 'em Up is fantastic. It's basically I guess the writer wanted to make a live action Bugs Bunny film, Bugs Bunny Elmer Fudd film, and Clive Owen is the Bugs Bunny, and Paul Giamatti is the Elmer Fudd, and I don't know how else to describe it. It's like The Matrix, but goofy. That makes sense? I don't know. Shoot 'Em Up is brilliant. It's a brilliant movie. Okay. Be doing co-mail teching for bombs. Robert Benagas, thoughts on DRNA? I have no thoughts on DRNA. Should I look up DRNA? RNA. DRNA. DRNA. Dicerna Pharmaceuticals. I have no thoughts on them. They had a price crash right after hours and then bounced right back up again. But no, it only went down like 10 cents. Whatever. I don't know anything about them. Although they were at $22 until the 17th, and then they shot up to $38. So they had something happen on the 17th, and I don't know what. They have good news? Shareholder alert. No, I'm to look into them deeper. DRNA. Don't know, but noted. I always hear about these things after they've had like a 50% gain in price. Never before. I don't know. Jimmy D's back. You're lucky. You're number one handsome. You pull a fast one and got me to donate twice. Well, thank you, Jimmy D. And I forgot to remind people, those who are watching this show afterwards, the donation button will still be in the bottom right corner. So you can always, if you aren't watching it live, you have the opportunity to donate to the Prostate Cancer Research Institute and help them solve cancer, or at least figure out ways to treat people or make their lives last longer or get them pre-screened. And as a reminder, also, you know, I'm getting to be old as hell. Get checked if you're a dude. Like, do not, for your own health and your own benefit, don't be so homophobic and scared that you can't have somebody, you know, check your prostate. Just check the prostate for you. It'll save your life, and it can you know, I don't want you dying because you're scared of having somebody check your booty hole and see if your prostate's inflamed or cancerous. We want you to live a long time, and you know, just you know, get checked. Do it. If you're getting the years, if you're middle aged, it's time once a year, have somebody lube up their fingers and climb around in there and see what's going on. It could save your life. So, you know, what's more important? Saving a life or being too scared to have someone play with the butthole? Just, we're after dark, man. We can talk about this stuff. Save your prostates. Yeah. No, man. People, lots of game talk going on here. But yes, Jimmy D, thank you for donating twice. Jumping in here, I was wondering where you had gone. You hadn't seen you on here in a while. Okay. Blue Hefner, Gurkha's theory is that today and tomorrow is the only days to cover. You think that they cover tomorrow? Or I guess today? If you're on the East Coast, it's today still. No, it's tomorrow. What is it? I'm at 10 o'clock on the West Coast. I'm hoping that we see some price pop tomorrow. I hope that the dip today was the dip, and that it goes from there. Because I jumped in, I got some options during the dip, and you know, if we go back up to where we were on Monday, I can buy a new engine for the truck, and I can stop having to drive around the crappy Aurora and be driving around my war rig and be hip and cool and ready for the snow when the snow comes, and go skiing and have a life. If the price doesn't pop, then I got hosed. I hope I'm not hosed. If I had bought on Friday open or Thursday night, right before close last week, I would have made 500% on my investment by Monday evening. Don't get greedy. If you make 500% on something, on an option, you can sell and still make a lot of money. It might go up 1,000% after you sell, but you still made money. If you hold out and get greedy, you always just pass the curve and miss it. Not everyone sells at the peak. Almost no one sells at the peak. So everyone holding out for the peak of something, you're just not. Very rarely are you going to hit the peak, and very rarely going to buy at the absolute bottom. I think the only time in my life I bought the absolute bottom of something was when I first got into GameStop. I bought it $38 after the baby squeeze in January, and that was just pure luck. And it was mostly nudging from my friend John. I was like, dude, get some. It's like, okay, fine. I bought it and it just rocketed from there. But you know, not everyone's going to get that peak. Just if you make your money, you make your money, and you got to do the Vanguard method. The slow and steady wins the race. They just year over year, ba-bonk, 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 just builds. And it's not financial advice, but it is life advice. Oh, my beard is at the point where, like, I don't know other guys that grow beards. I can never really get past a month of growing a beard, but my hairs kind of grow back into my face again, and it's just so itchy. That's why at about 2 weeks, I normally just shave it off again. I hate shaving, but I also hate having a beard, so I don't know what to do. Maybe I should just laser my face or something and be smooth. JMG has got a spot for me to go to, so let's go to that spot. Boom. There we are looking at Goldfield, and now we are looking at wherever GMG is sending us. Bam. Where in the world are we going? We're flying. We're going back to Europe? We're bouncing back and forth. We're going, is that France? Andorra? Where are we? Okay. There's a mountain. Whoa, that's a big mountain. That is Pic de Bergerac. Bergerac? That's a peak. That's a nice peak. Where are we? Where it looks like France. It must be France. Yes. So we're in the French Alps. We are Saint Cyprien, Le Chou. Let's go peak. Let's see what we got here. Look at that peak. I like it. I dig it. I like the peak. What's all right. Highest summit in the Corbiere, 1,230 meters. Western part of the mountains is located in the territory of the commune of Bergerac. Its eastern part is on the territory of Combe-sur-Loger. Am I saying that right? Loger? My French is terrible. I'm the worst. The geology is odd since its top layers are older than the bottom ones, so it's completely flipped. Bonk. Ah, crazy. Big hole in the cliff. Climbs the south face. So there's a big hole on the cliff in the south face. That looks like, well, south face would be here. But I want to look at the rock layers. So let's turn ourselves to the steep side and see. Do you see a cave? I don't see a cave. Where is there a cave? That sucker is kind of That's a big old rotated block though. That's pretty cool. All right, another place to go. Another place to go and go climb on a peak and drive up that sucker. Why not? I dig it. I dig it. JMG. Let's see what we got there. Beans Brigade, all part of the cycle. We'll see it spike again, all leading up to blast off in February. I hope so. Man, it'd be nice to have a blast off. Yes. What? Squamsk. Will vaping propylene glycol or vegetable glycerin cowabunga your lungs? Probably. I mean, It sounds like a lot of hard carbons going into your lungs, which is never good for them. Just avoiding smoke whatsoever in your lungs is probably the best thing you can do for your lungs. I can't imagine burning anything and inhaling it being that good for them. The bronchies like oxygen and nitrogen. They don't want to have the other things in there. Chris Ditloff, Houston, honestly, do you think MOAS will happen by the end of the year or at all? I think MOAS is going to happen. End of the year, I think, would depend upon what GameStop does with the NFT. Whatever their centralized exchange happens to be, that is, it could be something so simple as they're just buying and selling games and skins and weapons from one game to another across this NFT platform. My guess is that the Wu-Tang album is something that's going to be released as a dividend. All signs point to something that cool happening. And it'd be incredible marketing for the company. It's creative. It would really screw the shorts and would really just force a squeeze. And the shorts all said that they closed their positions, that they're no longer shorting this stuff. They closed their positions. And the SEC said, okay, you said you closed it. Therefore, GameStop can do whatever they need. It won't be seen as manipulation of the market because you claimed you closed. I think we can see something really wild out of that. If it's just based on the cycle theory, we've got yearlies in December and yearlies in January, which can really up the number of shares they've got to go find and buy. And it's just not, the shares just aren't there. So that's why we see these bumps in price. Got Talent, when is the next run for AMC? Well, the last time AMC had a really big run was June. That's when it pushed to 70, and then their own company hammered it back down again. But AMC is in the same basket of ETFs. So all the companies that are in this ETF basket, they're going to, be that rising tide lifts all boats type thing. So I expect them to see it get pushed up again with that. Truck Nerd RBL, Houston, happy birthday. What is one book you love to read that you will never get tired of reading? There aren't too many books I've read twice. I read Stranger in a Strange Land twice. I read the Red Dwarf series twice. What other books have I read twice? There aren't too many. Trying to think. Because there's so many books I want to read that I just haven't gone back to ones I read before. I'll probably read the selected works of T.S. Spivet again, because that's one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. And I would like to, have it burned into my memory. I read the Almanac every year. I don't know if that counts. Man, are there other books I've read twice? I think I read Catch-22 twice. I love Catch-22. I read that twice. But I can't think. The closest thing is, I've probably gone through like my Ghost Town book several times, because I've probably gone through like Ghost Towns of the West, which is essentially the encyclopedia of ghost towns. I've done this thing 10 times over. That's just because I'm trying to remember certain towns and where certain places in mineralization are, and it goes along with like lots of other like geology books and stuff I have. And I just dropped a whole bunch of stuff off my shelf, and there's a ball the dog was chewing on. And where did that thing go? One just vanished. Oh, there it is. The case for my watch. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of others I've read twice. So yeah, I'm always trying to like read something new and get something else in my brain. Oh, we're up to $245 for $500 goal. We're like halfway to our $500 goal. We're so close. If we can get there, we can get to our $1,000 for the donation and meet our goal. We probably could have hit our goal earlier today if I didn't have to like run away and go help some folks. But so close. So close. We're getting there. We're getting there. I see Fabian just donated. Thank you. Got another one from Anonymous. We got Anonymous. Thank you. We have another Anonymous. Another Anonymous. Anonymous is just doing it like crazy. Another Anonymous. Go man go. Thank you. Anonymous. Anonymous. Matt Johnson. All right. Thank you so much for donating. Thank you, folks. We're getting there. Of course, my chat just reset again, you jerk, and now I just lost my place. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're back. Anthony Wilson asks, are you upset Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty? I'm pretty upset about that. I mean, I don't like people killing, in period. I don't like people instigating things and finding an excuse to kill after instigating. It's the same thing with the Trayvon Martin case. I think Zimmerman was a piece of crap, and you can't go starting fights and then kill somebody out of fear of getting your ass kicked. That doesn't sit well with me ethically. Like, if I approach someone on the street and just start beating the hell out of them, and I'm losing, and I pull out a gun and kill them, all of a sudden I'm okay with that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like the precedent that it sets. Does not sit well with me at all. Just stop killing each other at all times. Okay. Drive Valerian, Washington State requires smog tests in Clark, King, Pierce, Snohomish, and Spokane counties. At least that's what Google tells me. Oh, okay. So come hang out with me in Kitsap County. We are smog test free out here. You can drive straight pipe, hunks of junk, shit boxes all day long. And with a straight pipe shit box, you can get to recycle the platinum into something, and then the meth heads can't steal the platinum from your catalytic converters. So, you got that going for you. Okay, Matt Newton, can you do a how to buy mineral rights and camp on the land mine to pay your expenses for dummies walkthrough? Yeah. Easiest way is not buying the mineral rights, but staking a claim. Much cheaper. $155, whatever the 20 acre claim rights are right now. It's 160. Went up again, I think. I have to remember. Last time I paid was August, and I don't remember exactly what they all were. Essentially, the 1872 mining law gives people access to public lands. What they wanted is they wanted Americans to move west and settle, and to start developing the Western United States. So they passed the 1872 mining law, giving people access. Oh, you want to go under your blanket? You do. Go. You can't go under your blanket if you're on your blanket. We've discussed this. Come on. Yeah, move your butt. Move your butt. Move your butt. Move your butt. There you go. Okay. The 1872 mining law was set up so that people would utilize public land, and you just went on top of your blanket again. You missed it. You missed it. Sorry. The dog is just failing miserably at being comfortable. Just lay down. Lay down. There you go. If you're standing on the blanket, you can't go under it. There you go. Figure it out. Figure it out. Yeah. Okay. 1872 mining law. They want people to move west. They want them to settle. They want them to start exploiting mineral resources. And the U.S. government had just millions and millions and millions of acres of public land. Granted, they gave a lot of it to the railroad companies through land grants for building the railroads. They gave some to public institutions. People homesteaded them. Townships were made. But for the most part, it was wild. And they wanted to bring Western civilization to these realms. And so they like, hey, there's lots of gold in our hills. Go get it. And with that, when you stake a mineral claim, you don't own the land. What you have is you have rights to the minerals on that land, to the rocks. And you can't keep people from camping there. Can't keep people from fishing there. Can't keep people from hiking through or hunting. All you can do is you can keep them from taking your rocks, because those rocks belong to you as long as you are paying your claim fee. And the claims come in 20 acre sizes. So you get 20 acres when you stake a claim, and you can do 8 contiguous claims But if you do contiguous claims, you have to have a consortium. So, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your child, your dog, whatever. So you can have 8 of those set up to make a 160-acre claim or a quarter square mile claim, and a quarter section of land. And every year, by August 31st, you have to repay your claim. Otherwise, someone else can come and stake that claim, and then you're SOL. That's the basis of the 1872 mining law. It's what allows you access to public lands. Now, part of the requirement for having that claim is either you pay a maintenance fee or you work the claim at least 8 hours every year. Any structures that are built must be temporary structures. So you can put a cabin on it. You can build a mill, things like that. But they have to be temporary. They're not permanent structures. It is a great way to get some cool camping sites out of it. You can stake a claim. As long as you find minerals there, you can stake a claim on a nice lake and build a little cabin and do your panning or whatever along a river. But you don't own it. And you used to be able to do what's called patenting a claim. So after you worked a claim for 5 years, you could apply to the government to buy the claim from the government for $1 an acre. And then you would own the land. You own the deed to that land. You own everything under it. And then you can keep people from hiking and camping and whatever on that land. In 1994, the Materion Corporation, back then it was Brush Wellman, they had 24,000 contiguous acres of beryllium mines. And I talked about Brush Wellman. I've mentioned them in my first interview with Josh Hamilton on the Gist. So Brush Wellman controls an entire element on the periodic table. They control all the world's beryllium. Like 99.9% of the beryllium that's used in the world comes from the Brush Wellman mine in Utah. Hear myself. So, Delta, Utah is along Highway 50. Baker. Where are you, Delta? Where are you, Delta? 50. Eli. No. Delta. Where are you? My brain is not. Sevier River, Hinckley, Desert, Abraham. Delta. There we go. There's Delta, Utah. Okay, so the Brush Wellman plant, the mill is here where they grind up the ore, but the mine itself is in the Wawa Mountains, which this is Topaz Cove, I believe. So here we go. Here's the Brush Wellman mine. So these guys here, this is basically where 99.9% of all the world's beryllium comes from. It's micron ore inside the rock. There are beryllium gemstones. They're called red emeralds that are found in this mountain range, the Wawas here. So there's 24,000 acres. So they basically control an area that's about the size of a small city that's in here, and it's all the world's beryllium. And they had been mining this since the 40s or so. And in 1994, they're like, hey, you know what? For $1 an acre, we can buy this 24,000 acres and control $150 billion in beryllium. And so they applied because that was the law. And there was an outrage. People discovered that they can get $150 billion in minerals that technically were owned by American citizens, right? Because this is public land. This is federal land here, BLM. That they can take $150 billion in minerals from public citizens for $24,000. So that caused enough an outrage that Congress passed a moratorium banning mining companies from patenting these claims anymore. So they were the last ones to get through. I think it was in 94. On some state lands, like in Nevada, there's big chunks of state land in Nevada where, like, if you are in Virgin Valley, Nevada, there's some state lands in there you can mine for uranium or opal. If you have that claim for 5 years, you actually apply to the state of Nevada to patent that claim, and you can own that land in Nevada for similar, for like $1 an acre. But most other states don't have that ability, and that's only on the state lands in Nevada, not the federal lands. So, yeah, so that's kind of the quick walkthrough. maybe when I get the truck working, we will do a trip this summer, and I can show you how to like stake a claim and file the paperwork with the BLM and do all that stuff. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Whoop, we're almost $300. Oh, we are 60% of our way to our goal. We got another 40 minutes or so before I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. And late night Houston. I'm exhausted, man. Let's see where we go from there. All right. Just in my head, first concert, best concert. My first concert was seeing Tim Noah in the Tickle Toon Typhoon at the North Kitsap High School Auditorium when I was 5 years old with the Bigler Boys. And turns out my best friend now, so those kids were the Biglers. I sat next to them, and my best friend as an adult apparently sat on the other side of them, and we watched our first concert together without ever realizing it because we were both friends with the same kids when we were 5. But yeah, Tim Noah and Tickle Toon Typhoon. That was probably my first concert. My first like real rock and roll show was about 7 years old at Bumper Shoot. I remember watching Mother Love Bone. Mother Love Bone was supposed to be huge. They were going to be the next like big rock band, and then Andy Wood, who is the lead singer and from my hometown of Bainbridge Island, he overdosed just days before their album got released. And but man, Mother Love Bone, they were solid. They were the precursor to Alice in Chains and a lot of those groups. I think Geffen or someone had signed them, and they were what like opened the doorway to grunge. Mother Love Bone's a little more on the hair metal side, but those groups were really incestuous. The Wood brothers had formed a band called Malfunction in the early 80s. It had Ben Shepherd, who's in Soundgarden, was in it. Kevin Wood, who's the guitarist and brother of Andy, I think he's the guitarist now for Ozzy Osbourne. So there was Malfunction, and then that spun out, and you got Green River, and it's Green River beget Pearl Jam, and all the names are totally escaping me. But all those groups just from there. The band Temple of the Dog was formed after Andy Wood died. So all of his friends formed a one-off band called Temple of the Dog, made an album that was in honor of him, and went from there. So that was probably my first rock and roll show, was Mother Love Bone. And then best rock and roll show. The band I've seen the most, the Presidents of the United States of America. I love those guys. They put on such a fun show, and I love their music. I just love them. I've seen them like 30 times. Judas Priest put on a hell of a show. Death Clock put on a hell of a show. Man. Who else? Who would be the best? Who would be the best? Who is my favorite of all time? I think the most entertaining one I ever went to was a really small show. It was a chick named Anna Oxygen. And, oh crap, my microphone is falling off the table. One sec. Come on, tighten on there, you little jerkwad. Why? Oh no, don't die. That's it, up. For crying out loud. Sorry. Technical difficulties. The whole thing is just, oh, that's why. The pad just came off of there. Crying out loud, man. Alright, you get on there. You screw on tight. And hold on to your stupid little desk, you stupid little... Alright, anything can happen with Houston After Dark, such as your microphone falling off the table. Anna Oxygen. She had a band called Space Ballerinas, and she and her friends did this show, and for like 2 hours did like an aerobics, like 80s jazzercise thing that was just impressive. I was like, man, you gals are in incredible shape, because I would not be able to play instruments and do jazzercise for 2 hours long. It was very impressive. That was probably the most impressive I was ever by a band. Anna Oxygen and her, I think it was her solo thing, but she was in a band called Space Ballerinas, and they made a whole album about a scientist who created ballerinas in like test tubes, and then one of the ballerinas fell in love with a sliding glass door. Really esoteric stuff, but the music was really good. So, yeah. Oh, well, how long ago was it? Like 20 years ago? I don't know, but I'll go watch people. I used to love going to like the Sunset Tavern at Ballard on Tuesdays. They'd have just like random high school kids playing music at this tavern. They book anyone on Tuesdays, and sometimes they were so bad. And it was just like me, my friend, and these kids' parents just watching them just be awful. And other times you're like, holy crap, these kids are going somewhere. And then it turns into like, Maurice's Little Bastards, or someone that like ends up signing a deal and going bigger. All right. Matt Newton, do you think there's any chance the DRS shares and computer share will get prior to receiving a dividend? Probably. But my concern is about receiving the dividend. I don't actually care about receiving the dividend. What I care about is people not receiving the dividend. And that is a signal that the DTCC has failed. And if the DTCC has failed, then it gives the opportunity to say, give us our shares. We're forcing a squeeze. And that's the important part of the NFT. Now, granted, if you have a bunch of shares and you get a listen of the Wu-Tang album, if that's what the dividend is, then right on. Good. Awesome. Cool. But I care much, much, much more about getting millions of dollars than I do about getting the NFT dividend. Does that make sense? Like, I would rather be private island rich than listen to an album. That's just where I am. And I'm sure if I'm private island rich, I will figure out a way to listen to the album regardless. And that's what I care about. Yeah. Oh, Project Sun says, not on Prime, the movie Primer. Ah, time travel flick. All right, Primer. Okay. So Billions and Primer. So Primer and, not on, and Primer. Noted. Oh, we're at $317. We are almost 64% of our way to our goal for raising money for the Prostate Cancer Research Institute. Squamps. Mathrock is floopy doopy and sounds like Whole Foods kombucha, an apartment your parents bought you for college. I still kind of like it. Oh. That's pretty accurate description. That is, yeah. To me, it's like if the guys from LCD Sound System spent most of their day writing in their journal. That's math rock for me. Matt Nichols, welcome to the live show. Welcome to Late Night. BW Brand, Houston, do you own a pocket watch or a mechanical wristwatch? I have wristwatches. I haven't worn them regularly in a while. When my brother was at Oakley, he actually designed a bunch of watches. And so like this one is an Oakley watch that he designed. The problem is that the band is integrated into the watch, and where my wrist fits, the little holes, it cut between the holes, and now it doesn't stay on my wrist anymore. So like I can put it on my wrist and it just pops through the hole and I can't wear it anymore. So I'm screwed. And the battery's long dead because I don't know. I need to go down to Southern California and beg them to give me a new watch band or something for that one. But I have a couple other Oakley watches elsewhere around. And then I've got a Ferrari watch somewhere that my friend Brett, the one that has the heart replacement, he's alive because I gave him CPR. He had a heart attack and died in front of me, and I kept him alive until the ambulance came. And he like gave me a Ferrari watch. He's like, "Thank you so much for being alive." And I used to wear that one a lot. I think the battery died and I didn't replace it, and I have no idea what I did with the watch now. It's not on this desk. That's normally where I kept them, but I don't know where my watch is. This is the case for it. It's the Ferrari case. Is it back inside of here maybe? No, it isn't. I'm a fool. I've lost my Ferrari watch. Brett, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'll find it. I'll put a battery in it and I'll wear it. Sorry. Oh, Project Sun's talking about the 3x plus 1 collapse conjecture. Yeah, we're not gonna go. We're gonna go on the collapse conjecture. Well, I'll do another show on that later. But thank you. Yes, 3x plus 1. Don't bother. It ain't happening. Illy. Think there's a chance no labs will be forced out of business due to lost revenue from test strips and diabetic meds? No. No labs has so much cash behind them. They, like, the shorts try short attacking them. Like, we're going to short attack these guys. But they have, like, hundreds of millions of dollars sitting behind them. The guy as the CEO was, like, you know, he was behind Double Down Interactive, which was $1 billion online gaming business. You know, we're talking 10th investor in Facebook. These dudes have money. And so they don't give a shit about what the shorts or anyone else trying to do to them. They've got so much money they can overcome any of that stuff. So I don't think No Labs has to worry about that. Okay. Big Rick, do you think dinosaurs are real? I think more were real. But yes, dinosaurs were real creatures that walked the earth. Yes. A long time ago. At least 63 million years ago. And Dan Summit's saying, recommend Billions. He's on season 4. Oh man, we're at $337. Ooh, we're $163 away from our $500 goal. We are so close to raising our $1,000 for the Prostate Cancer Research Institute. It's awesome. Let's see here. Who do I have to thank? I got to thank some people. I thank Adam Wampkins. Thank you, Adam. I got to thank another anonymous. Thank you, anonymous. Another anonymous. Thank you. Hansabel. Thank you. Drive of Valerian donated. Thank you. And then it's Fabian Garcia. Thank you so much. Anonymous. And then I think it goes back to the anonymous is from so long ago. I'm only about 40 minutes behind in the chat, so I'm trying to get there. Crisley's saying Alpha Boston made a YouTube video about how there's potentially 50 billion synthetics of AMC. So that is 100 times the float. That would be wild, 50 billion. That number just doesn't seem to compute in my head. 50 billion for 500 million shares. That's bonkers. I don't know how. All right, if there's 4.1 million owners of, let's go to the calculator here for a second. Calculator, got to turn that off. I got to turn that off. I got to turn that off. Whoops. Oh, shit. I didn't have calculator. Calculator. Sorry. There we go. All right. So if we got 50 billion shares, which just seems like a monstrous number. I'm going to have Al explain it to me. And you divide that sucker by 4.1 million owners, right? That means the average shareholder has to have 12,195 shares. That just seems a little big for me. I can believe average shareholder being like 1,000, maybe a tenth of that, which would be about 5 billion shares. But 12,000 shares per shareholder, that's a lot of millionaires existing. Because at, well, maybe not quite millionaires, but at $40 a share, you're at $487,000. That'd be the average AMC holder being worth $487,000. I don't quite see that yet. I know a lot of folks that have, 1,000 shares, and more power to them, man. You're doing great. But $487,000 for the average shareholder of AMC, that just seems like such a big number. When I talk with Al next week, he's gonna have to really hammer it home and get my brain around that number. That just seems really big. 10 billion shares. So divide that sucker by 5. Divide that by 5. And we're still at $97,000 per shareholder at $40 a share. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. Al, if you're watching, explain yourself. Or explain to me next week when we meet up. Yeah, BTW brand, you have it backwards. Insurance won't pay for the expensive overpriced strips if that were the case. Yeah, they're not going to pay for test strips if they're costing $20 a test strip per day. No. They'll gladly do the $3 a day it costs for the subscription for the real-time measurement of people's glucose levels. It would save a lot of lives and save a lot of money in the process, from hospitalizations, amputations, complications, gangrenous legs, whatever. Just boof your doctor already. Oh, we got some ghosts in the chat here. All right. Everything's, BW brand, everything's going subscription based. Everything is going subscription. Even my Microsoft Office is subscription based now. Granted, I get it free through the college now that I'm teaching, but before, you buy Office 2010, you'd have it for 15 years, and the computer would die, and you go get Office 2020 or whatever. And now it's just subscription. They charge you like $99 a year rather than $500 at the start, and that's how you get Microsoft Office. Everything's subscription. It was pretty rad when I was teaching at the Art Institute. We got the entire Adobe suite for $20 a year as educators. And I just filled my computer up with programs I had no idea how to use. And so what was happening is my computer's like always downloading updates, became useless. So I had to like pare it down to Adobe Premiere and Photoshop and Illustrator. And then I had to ignore everything else, even though I had access to everything. Oh, my beard is so itchy, man. All I can think about is how itchy it is. Like, I scratch my beard, and then 30 seconds later, in the corner of my eye on the live stream, I see me scratch my beard again. It makes me want to scratch my beard some more. It is just so itchy. I've never been able to grow it past the part where it's itchy. So I last a month, and then just take that sucker off at the most. Whew. Mr. M, we buy the peaks and sell the dips. Perfect. Yeah. BW brand, if you don't like shaving or having a beard, just trim it with a trimmer. That's what I do. I just take the Conair and go zzz, and just trim it short, and then do it 2 weeks again, 2 weeks later. I hate my beard. I have to shave this neck thing because I get nothing but ingrown hairs here if I let it grow. And this is, I would gladly have some esthetician just rip this stuff out of my neck so I never have a neck beard again. I hate it. BW brand says, don't vape oils if you can avoid it. Propylene glycol your body can deal with. I have no idea. I'm a teetotaler. I don't smoke anything. Like, the most heinous thing I put in my body is the Safeway brand cola. That's that and chocolate. Lots of chocolate. All right. 1337 Gaming. Houston, I've smoked cannabis for 10 years. Is Delta 8 cannabis safer? I have no idea, man. I'm a square. I don't smoke anything. I'm a nerd. I read my books and I drink my colas and I eat chocolate cake with way too much whipped cream on it. And that's what I do. Project Son, read Debt by the First 5,000 Years and anything by Graeber. Someone had recommended that to me. I ordered it. I have not had a chance to read it yet. And hasn't. I don't think it came. I remember ordering it. Did it come? If it did, maybe my roommates put it somewhere. But I ordered it. I haven't read it yet. Fabian Garcia, late to the stream. What is the most important takeaway we've gone through regarding GME? The buy and hold works. I mean, the forced illiquidity by retail shareholders of refusing to sell, no matter how much of a roller coaster stock goes on, keeps that sucker at a fairly high blue chip level price. I mean, this stock has a floor of $180, and it's really hard to get it below that, and very easy to get it above that. So buy and hold works. It is a legit tactic, and the short hedge funds really can't do much except draw it out. And even then, they drawing the stuff out involves them digging holes over and over and over. And these folks have to do all sorts of weird things now with the market and pump different things and dump crypto and do all this stuff just to survive. And I don't think they can do it forever. They just can't. There's not enough cash in the world for them to be able to do this forever without someone wanting to get paid. Someone's going to need their money eventually. There's going to be some bank that made a bet on Chinese bonds and discovers all of a sudden that they're out $1 trillion, and they're going to go, hey, Melvin, we need that money. And they're going to margin call. And Melvin's not going to be able to do it, and everyone's just going to fall into the hole with them until the Fed bails everybody out. That's just how it's going to work. Yeah. Oh, we're at 375. We're $125 away from meeting our goal. We're so close. We're so close to raising our $1,000 for the day. Oh, man. We're getting there. We're so close, folks. Woo. And then Houston go to sleep. and then they can do the show all over again in like 12 hours. Hopefully with great news that GameStop's going green and I can sell my options and be happy. G-Funt YYC. Houston, who is the most interesting person in the last 100 years and why is it Richard Feynman? Well, Richard Feynman is very interesting. If you have a chance to read his biography, this one. This I think is the best biography on Feynman. Genius. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant book. Really lets you peer into his brain, and he's why on earth? Oh, because I was reading this when I was dating a girl in New Mexico. So that's why I've got maps from New Mexico in there. Yeah. So, but is this by James Glick? Excellent biography. When was it written? It was written, I think, in late 80s, early 90s. 92. Yeah. This is the definitive biography on Richard Feynman, the best physics teacher in existence. Now, is he the most interesting man in the world? He is up there in the last 100 years. But I would have to say Buckminster Fuller, to me, is the most fascinating in the last 100 years. And I've read a couple of his. I don't know if I have them up here. Thought I did. I don't know. My science nerd biographies are all in this section, but I don't know if I did. What did I do with it? Nope. Okay, I don't know what I did with my Buckminster Fuller biographies, but Buckminster Fuller was a rad dude. Granted, he was born more than 100 years ago, so I don't know if that counts. But yeah, I recommend Buckminster Fuller all the way also. BW Brand says, last 13F I saw, Citadel was out of AMC, but that literally changes every reporting. Yeah, true. Do I have a bunch of people speaking Indonesian in the chat here? Trying to get people to do WhatsApps. Don't WhatsApp people. All right, Billy. I had 40 acres of BLM outside of Barstow, California for gold. Never mind it. Just use it as my getaway from the city. Quiet place. Yeah, Barstow's rad. Or getting outside of Barstow. The high desert, Antelope Valley, that area of the Mojave is really cool. Let's dive in, shall we? So, Victorville. Let's see here. Barstow. Oh, I didn't actually turn the Chrome on, so you have no idea what I'm doing. Here we go. So, if we zoom in, we got Los Angeles down here. Antelope Valley leads into the Mojave, and Barstow is along 15 up here. North of Barstow is really cool spot. I talked about this in the past. This is Opal Mountain, and in here is a place called Inscription Canyon, which is this road. So Inscription Canyon goes through here, and there's along here 12,000 petroglyphs from the Mojave people dating back to 12,000 years ago. So Lake Mojave was essentially a giant lake that surrounded this basalt volcano here. It's Opal Mountain, and in this area of Opal Mountain is Tiffany Jewelers had a opal mine. Really beautiful, like red and green fire opals were found in here, and they had a mine that ran there for a long time. They filled it in, which is a bummer because I'd love to go down and get some more opal. But there's some caves. There's a cave on the north side of this, which they think was basically where the Mojave people would send people to get it on and get pregnant. It's a fertility cave. And there's like notches on the wall for how people have like gotten it on, had a baby as a result of getting down in that cave. So, you know, it's a special place if you want to knock someone up. But yeah, so this was a big giant lake during the last ice age. And so I guess people will go to this cave with a beautiful view of this lake and knock boots all day long and get each other pregnant. And there's some little dunes along here, the lake beds. There's all sorts of like really old Air Force bases and weird things from World War II. So like here's an airstrip, abandoned airstrip. There's the Barstow. Where are you? No, the Boron. Where are you, Boron? So Mojave, California City, Air Acres, Lockhart. It's got to be. Come down from Randsburg, right? Yeah, Randsburg's a ghost town. Randsburg was run by a lady doctor who her husband was kind of an idiot, but he found gold and he couldn't run the mine to save his life, so she quit her practice. She was like the first female physician in the United States, like certified, and she quit her jobs because she had to run this gold mine because her husband was a moron. But you drive down here, you get to, where are you? That's the borax mine. Where is the Barstow Boron Air Base? There's a really cool, that's the town of Boron. And then there's the abandoned air base. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this was an Air Force listening station, like radar station. And they're looking for like Russian bombers and stuff to come kill Americans. And then it became kind of a club fed, a fenceless prison for white collar criminals. And now the FAA still has a radar station here, but it's like this crazy abandoned town, and like you can go in and climb through the houses, and the people at the FAA will probably call the sheriff to come arrest you, but they're like an hour away, so you still have time to play around and mess around this place. But it was a prison, it was air base. There's like buildings and houses and furniture and all sorts of cool things to go play around in the Boron abandoned air base here. I'm not telling you to do it. But if you're in Los Angeles and you happen to wander in the Boron Air Force Base and go wander around, that most the sheriff's going to go, I'm not going to bother driving up there to kick out some kids. But if they do show up, just drive away. They're not going to send you to prison or anything for wandering around federal land that you own. You're like, get out of here, you kids. But the FAA guys get all uptight and pissy when you go climb around in there, but I'd go anyway. And yeah, that's some cool stuff around Barstow. If you go south of Barstow, go down to all right, Lucerne Valley, Johnson Valley, Joshua Tree, 29 Palms. Where is Thousand Palms? I want oh, here we go. That's Landers. That's where I was looking. Giant Rock. So head south of there, go down to by Landers, and there's this big giant rock, literally called Giant Rock. It's the largest freestanding boulder in the world. And in 2003, this piece cleaved off of it just randomly. So the 29 Palms military base and everything is here. This was the proving grounds on this side of the valley where General, oh my gosh, my brain is emptying. North Africa. Duh. Crap. Did the tank shit. Proving grounds where they trained everybody to like drive around tanks. I can't. My brain is melting now. And there's a prospector, German prospector, actually carved out a home underneath this rock. And he made a little 1,000 square foot apartment underneath this rock, and that's where he lived. And then the sheriff was terrified during World War II that he was spying on the proving grounds. General Patton, my God. Spying on General Patton and the groups over here. So they went to like go arrest the German, and they eventually just shot a bunch of times into the hole, and they hit his dynamite stash and blew him up inside of his house. The poor dude was just like trying to look for gold in these hills. But then in the 50s, this weird guy, I can't remember his name either. He was convinced that aliens would come and land at Giant Rock, and so he made this whole giant cult. People would come out here and talk about alien abductions and stuff. And then he built the Integratron out here in Lander. Drive Lander. This might be it here. Is this it? No, that's the house. There it is. This is the Integratron. So he built this weird plywood dome thing. And he told everyone it was a spaceship, that the aliens were going to come and take them out of here. Integratron. And kept raising money and had these weird cults. And always it turns into like a sex cult. And now hippies have a sound bath, and you go inside there and they like beat on bells and wail on drums, and it's supposed to cure cancer. Whatever. But it's a really crazy place. Integratron. There's some cool mountains out here. If you take this dirt road, it's really bumpy from Johnson Valley out to Giant Rock. It's pretty cool. But if you venture this way, you're very likely to end up arrested by a bunch of Marines who don't want you on their military base. And there's abandoned tanks and all sorts of things out here that if you accidentally end up there, you can climb on some blown up tanks. Be careful. Don't do that. But Johnson Valley is beautiful. I recommend this place in the spring, like during Super Bloom. They filmed a lot of Star Trek planets out here, so the granite formations are just bitching. A lot of people 4-wheel drive out here and do crazy stuff. The folks who do the junk punk, the Mad Max building battle wagons, they always meet out here every year and drive their trucks around and have derbies and whatnot. But yeah, I recommend it. This whole area of the Mojave is really cool. Lots of silver, lots of gold, lots of weird places. So then you get down into like Indio Valley, Coachella, and Palm Springs and stuff are in here. Salton Sea, which smells horrible because there's a billion fish that all died 30 years ago and they're still stinking the place up. But there was a train that ran through this valley, and there's a Red Rock Canyon, I believe is what it's called in here. It's a really beautiful canyon, by the way. It leads up to one of the biggest ghost towns in America, Eagle Mountain. So there was a huge mine up here that was owned by Kaiser or Alcoa or someone, and there's a giant ghost town here, Eagle Mountain Ghost Town, that was abandoned in like 1984. And I'm not saying you should hop a fence and go check it out, but you should definitely hop a fence and go check it out. It is fucking cool. Look how big this place is. People just picked up and left. because the mine closed, and that's it. And yeah, definitely worth checking out. I've had a dream of building a railroad bicycle. I don't know if you've ever seen them before. Basically, you take a bicycle and you attach it so it fits the gauge of a railroad. And going from Eagle Mountain all the way down through here, taking this abandoned train track all the way into the Coachella Valley in Indio. And it goes to the old plant at, I think Fontana is where it ends up. Take the train all the way down. There's some spots where like the bridge is washed out here, so you got to like take the bike off and hike across, and then you can ride it back down again. But you ride all the way down, get down to the Salton Sea, and then ride your way up to the old smelting plant in Fontana. I think it'd be really cool to do. Really cool. I got to build a bicycle first. But it's, like probably like a 2-3 day ride, and you see some really cool part of the country, and just basically ride downhill the entire way from this really cool ghost town and end up there. I always want to do that trip. I think it would just be rad. So rad. Okay. Now I've talked about the desert enough. You guys are like, whatever, dude. But yes, Illy. Barstow area is cool. I love the Mojave. I love the desert as long as it's like April. 75 degrees, really nice. Flowers are blooming. It's fantastic. Jay Shimmy, wish me those birthday wishes. All right. I'll let them speak in whatever language they're speaking in. Welcome aboard, everyone from all over the world. Whatever you're talking about. Welcome to my channel, my after hours, after dark, 11 o'clock at night. We are $117 away from our goal. We're so close to raising $1,000 on the day for prostate cancer research. Come and join us. All right. Hi, Anushka. Welcome. Got a Nigerian prince as well. Tubed out 5 says GME will go 275 today. Oh man, I hope so. GME goes 275. That is was that 215 now? About there. So let's just calculate Houston's options. Let's go there. Might as well calculate Houston's options. Calculator, take off the Google Earth. Bye-bye. Calculator. Okay. So I got 3 options at 230 for $1,500 total. Right now it's at 215. So 215, 275. That takes us to $60. That's a good premium. A $60 rise across 60 shares, across 300 shares. I'll take $18,000. That's not so bad. Can you guys get me $18,000 and get this price to $275 tomorrow? That'd be fantastic. I would love $18,000. That would really help get Houston engine for the war rig so I can drive that thing around again and actually go skiing this winter with my Icon Pass. Yes, that's a good idea. I like your thinking. I like that idea. They're tubed out. Let's get to 275 if we can. Let's do it. Let's all agree right now that the price should get to 275 tomorrow. Woohoo! Okay. John Croissant, how much does a New Year's parade float cost? Should a company that is heavily in debt be buying one? I mean, every company that's heavily in debt still has marketing budgets. That's 1337 Gaming. I got to see David Gilmour in Hollywood. Phenomenal musician. No, David Gilmour is awesome. I saw the Division Bell tour in 94, 95. That was great. The Roger Waters Wall tour was pretty amazing. That was like a movie. Planes are crashing and all sorts of things are exploding, and it was pretty impressive. Roger Waters apparently for a time lived not too far from me. He was dating some lady that was on Bainbridge Island. And when I worked in a bar, I apparently waited on him. I didn't realize that. I only afterwards, I was like, holy shit, Roger Waters. Wait a minute. I think that was the Roger Waters. So, yeah. Daphne Berry. Oh, sorry. I missed your questions, Daphne. Let me go out, scroll up and get Daphne here. If I missed your questions. Sorry, I'm scrolling through the conversations from Singata and Balu. Daphne. Where are you, Daphne? People talking about their exhaust. Daphne, I'm not seeing your questions. Pedro, Religious Pickle, Sir David, PW Band, Rogue Death. Daphne, Squamsk. I'm sorry, Daphne. I'm not seeing. I'm scrolling up. I'm back to over an hour ago. I don't see your question on here. Did it actually get deleted or removed? Where's Daphne's questions? I'm sorry, Daphne. If you pop them in now, I will try to answer them. Holy crap, we're at 420. We're 80. Whoa, we're at 420. We're $80 away from our goal. Thank you, Granny Bags. Thank you, JMG. Thank you so much. Thank you, Religious Pickle. Thank you, Joshua Cheney. Thank you, Another Anonymous. Thank you, Adam Watkins. Oh, we're so close. We're almost so close to our $500. We get to $500 and you can go to bed. All right, Daphne, do you have your question in here? If I can find it, post it again. I will gladly answer your question for you. I wish that the donation thing would work like a super chat also. So you could like throw a question in there and turn it bright green and I can see what it is. It makes it really easy to see. Okay. It's true, BW Brand. Not being able to exercise the shares isn't going to push the price further on, getting more gamma. Which is you can't exercise to close, which means the brokerage goes out, buys all the shares, picks them up, and then they sell the shares at the current price, and then give you whatever's left over after covering that strike price. And so, you can perhaps, exercise the close. They sell off 90% of them and you get 10 shares out of it. But then those other 90 shares still have to get purchased and then dumped. It's a great way to do that if that's what you care about. Yeah. Protege Son, Houston, would you debate Elon about Mars colonization being a fateful endeavor? Heck yes. I would take Elon any day about that. And just be like, Elon, you moron. Mars is stupid. Focus on something else. Yeah. BW Brand, Daphne Berry question. Oh, Houston, do you know who Mark Cohodes is and what the controversy is about? I know who he is. He's a former hedge fund manager. I'm not sure about what the controversies are surrounding him. He is trying to convince Adam Aaron and the AMC guys to do an NFT dividend of some kind, but I don't think it would be allowed. I think they have to clear $5 billion in debt before they can do it. There is apparently drama surrounding him. I don't know what that drama is. I haven't really had a chance to dig into it. But, a lot of our heroes have things in the past that don't look that good. Mark Christian, turns out that while he was fighting for companies that have been naked shorted like crazy and as an attorney for them, he was also shorting those same companies in the past. So, we've got some people, everyone will try to make money how they can, and you have to expect them to do things to get that. There's a lot of people that have personality disorders out there that don't really care and they just, yeah. Yeah, and so they just got to sort of understand that there's going to be charlatans out there because they see a lot of marks and they're like, ooh, I can make some big old money on that. Yeah. And they, there's a lot of marks out there. Just look at how many people are buying those stupid monkey NFTs. There's a lot of people with money that they desperately need to have taken from them. So, yeah, like I need to mint some NFTs. I need to have some morons buy a bunch of stupid monkey pictures from me. Okay. J. King, Houston was the male you had a fringe benefit for the babysitting job? What? I don't know what that question is. I don't even know what those words mean. Yeah. I don't know. I may have to rewrite that one. I don't know what that means. Okay. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up, get back into some of the chats that I've missed here. Okay, they're talking about the float. People talking about the float. Mountain Saint Funk 9. Prostate Cancer Research. Great cause. My father has been in and out of remission for a long time. Next step, if it comes back, is cryogenic freezing. I heard about that. That's the last couple of years is that they basically like put a tube of really cold gas in there and freeze the sucker. And that's the way they surgically remove it, I guess. Yeah. So, all right. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Now I scrolled up and now I see Daphne Berry's question. How did I not miss that before? Sorry, Daphne. Sorry I missed that. All I know about Mark Cohodes is that he's a former hedge fund manager, and he apparently talks a lot about how hedge funds screw people over, and now he's turned over a new leaf and he's trying to fight the hedge funds. How accurate that is, I don't know. He's probably making bank, and more power to him. But I don't think his ideas about the NFT dividend can work for AMC. It can work for other companies that are in the black, but AMC has way too much debt to be able to do something like that. And if they do manage to somehow do it, awesome. I'm all about that. But I don't think they can personally. Okay. Okay. A-Rod Money, are we logging the float? Some people are. I consider Jackson Hunter and Boss friends. But so back in February, I joined a Discord. I was asked to join Discord, and I helped these folks do a petition. And the petition was to sign. Let me go to Big Houston here, so I'm big. The petition was to sign for asking the board at GameStop to recall their shares. It's like, hey, do a share recall. Just do it and see what happens. And so we went on to Twitter. We went on to Reddit. And we're like, hey, sign our petition. And all we're asking for is your name and an email address. We didn't need your home address. We didn't need how many shares you had. We didn't need your brokerage. We didn't need anything else. Just your name and email address, like a change.org type thing. But we made our own little website. And the entire community was like, why are you trying to take my information? Are you going to sell it? What are you going to do with it? What? And I was like, oh, Jesus. And so we got 20,000 signatures. We sent that to the board. And everyone else was like, oh, we're never going to trust you guys again. So I can't imagine giving screenshots, like these same folks giving screenshots of their holdings and email address and home address and phone number and all these things. I just can't see too many of them doing it. And if Jackson and those folks had talked to me about it, I've been like, hey, it's going to be an uphill battle. These people are really paranoid. I mean, I get messages every day from someone who's convinced that like the government's spying on them through whatever DD they have, and I read the DD, I'm like, you're crazy. I don't know how to say it. Be like, you're a little crazy. No one's watching you. Your DD sucks. But there's a lot of paranoid people that just assume, and there's millions of us. There's millions of us in this. The government does not have the manpower to watch what we're doing. They don't care. If anything, they're gonna be like, oh, my friend who's a billionaire hedge fund manager can no longer afford to have his house. Maybe we should start paying attention to what the stock is doing. But on an individual basis, they're not paying attention to us. They don't have the time, the resources, the manpower to do that stuff. So I don't know. I think some of the metadata things, like don't use hashtags. They're watching you. Who cares? Like all we're doing is buying and holding. That's all you have to do. Anything beyond buying and holding is just extraneous. And, that's why we do other little plays. I'm going to buy some metamaterial. I'm going to invest in Prague. We need something to do with our time. And we're just kind of sitting around waiting for the buy and hold to pay off. And that just takes away days. And that's all we can do. Anything beyond that, I think, is kind of futile where we are. Yeah. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. DVS, looks like you might have lucked out in your calls if you got in late enough, Houston. I was up 6K and now back it down even. Yeah, bummer, man. I expect a rip tomorrow. I hope there's a rip tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope that rip gets us there. And yeah, it would be really nice to like double some holdings. That'd be great. And it's true. Like if let's say you invest $1,000, you make $6,000, you take that money. And then the next time around, you put it into the December weeklies, the week of Christmas. You put 6,000 into it. You 6x it again. You're at 36,000. All right, awesome. You do that again in January. You put 36,000 in, and you're at 300, whatever it is, $250,000. Not too shabby. And you take that, you get the February 18th calls, and then you exercise those bastards. You've got piles of cash on hand. You exercise a whole bunch of shares, and that would just put the squeeze on them. That's one thing that we can do to really would be productive. Because most of the other stuff we're done, other than outside of buy and hold, we're just kind of like twiddling our thumbs. But I think Gherkin's onto something. He is definitely onto something on how to force this to just make it worse. Because when all those shares after the January yearlies go, and then people make it rip because of the weeklies the following week, and then they exercise all those monthlies for February that same week. Oh, dude, that creates so much buying pressure that the hedge funds won't know what to do. Because hundreds of millions of shares had to get purchased all of a sudden, and they don't exist. I think it'd be pretty rad. But for me, is based upon it ripping tomorrow. If it doesn't rip tomorrow, then I'm shit out of luck. Back to just twiddling my thumbs again. All right, we're still at $420. Come on, guys, get us that 500. We're so close. We're so close. I know some Europeans are waking up because we just bopped up to 208 viewers. Got some Euros in here. Big Euro rodeo. Yeah. Drive with Valerian says, Houston Coinbase went down today, turned off buying for LRC during a big run-up. Reddit offers theories saying Coinbase is like Robinhood for crypto, a stealing scam backed by Citadel. Thoughts? I mean, crypto's unregulated. These guys can get away with pretty much doing anything they want. So, I mean, everything you do in these exchanges, take it with a grain of salt. I was very active on the Poloniex exchange 2015, 2016. I had a lot of Zcash coins in there, Zec coins. And I mean, it's probably worth $100,000 today, if not more. And I just got this notice that was like, hey, we can't operate in Washington State anymore. We're closing your account. Poof, closed, gone. My coin's gone with it. Just gone. I have no recourse. They stole, hundreds of Zcash coins. Gone. And I had no recourse. I had nothing. What can I do? There's no regulations about this stuff. It's all imaginary, weird, internet ones and zeros. Who gives a shit about Houston? So there's, these guys, they can kind of do whatever they want in the crypto realm. And you just hope that you come out on the good end of it. Yeah. Yeah. Biden's ramblings. I took care of Patton's private nurse. So neat. Oh, really? All right. Right on. Yeah. All right. Oh, we're up to $424. We are $76 away from reaching our $500 goal. We're so close. We're so close. No Revolution 105. What's this Tesla asteroid redirection test going on about? They're going to smash into an asteroid at tens of thousands of miles an hour with a big giant heavy weight and see if it's enough to nudge the asteroid off course. So it's basically a test, a proof of concept to see if we've got like an earthbound asteroid that's going to kill us all, and we know enough ahead of time that we can launch something and nudge that thing out of the way so that it misses Earth entirely. It's kind of what the experiment's all about. I think that, it's a good chance, good idea. We may have to look at ways of propelling something. So like fixing rockets to one of those things and just having it do a burn for hours on end until it moves it out of the way. Just getting just a slight nudge of acceleration one direction or the other. That might be how we have to do it. I don't know. We'll see. Self-driving asteroids. All right. BTB Brand says, Houston, you should be careful riding the rails. People will put lots of flat rocks on the tracks. And it's a stop and go if you try. Yeah, probably. Maybe I'll do a railroad bicycle, and then I'll have 2 push brooms at the front, just pushing everything out of the way. And that's how we'll do it. Yeah, why not? That's my plan. That's how I'm going to do now. I'm going to have a couple of push brooms from Home Depot on there. All right, United, welcome to catching the stream. Oh, at 479. Holy shit. We're at 479. All right. Got to do some thank yous. So Granny Bags was that last one. Got Travis right. Thank you, Travis. Granny Bags. Stena Berlin. Thank you. Whoa, Stena. Thank you so much. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Proje Sun asks, best state, best EU country. Oh, man. Okay. I've not been to all the EU countries. I've been to several of them. I absolutely just adore Norway and Switzerland, but then again, I like skiing a lot, so that's probably why. But I like it when a culture just paves a road and makes a tunnel through something. I really appreciate that. I've had a lot of great times in France. I lived in Austria. I loved it there. Only time I've been to the UK was for like 40 hours, so I don't have much experience in the UK. But I enjoyed my time in London. I walked like 35 miles in 12 hours. I was exhausted. What else? I enjoyed Germany. I've not been to Spain yet. I need to go to Spain. I want to go to Portugal. I have limited experience in Italy. My elbow exploded in Italy, so my one association in Italy is basically having to have elbow surgery, my baseball career being over. So that was that was my bummer with Italy. I really want to go to Trieste though. I really want to go to Trieste and check that city out. I've always been fascinated with that place. But best state? I mean, I love Washington. That's why I live here. We've got mountains, we've got water, we've got desert, we've got forest. Everything's green. We don't have too much air pollution. Most of the wind kind of blows it over other people. Winters are kind of miserable, but as long as you go skiing, it's a lot more survivable. That's why I was so miserable last winter, is I didn't get to do my skiing. If you come to Seattle and you complain about how depressing it is, you got to learn how to ski. That's the way it is. Because if you spend your winter locked inside, you're going to become like the serial killers in the 80s, your Ted Bundys and whatnot that all grew up here. So you just got to go learn how to be outdoorsy and go up to where it's not wet, but where it's cold and it's little bits of ice falling on you. That's where we go. DVS says, looking at historical price action, GME didn't run up until the 24th at 10 a.m. So we probably should have seen this dip coming because it happened 12 months ago. All right. There we go. Let's take it. I want to see it run. I want to see it run so fast and so hard. Let it run. BW Brand Lakes, North Carolina. Beaches, Outer Banks, swamps, grassy plains, forests, both hardwood and softwood, mountains, lots of public lands. I enjoyed it. Asheville is gorgeous. I thought that place was absolutely beautiful. I would go there again. My sister moved back there for a while, and she's thinking about maybe moving back again. She liked it there. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, every state has good places that are absolutely just life-changingly beautiful. Even like some of the flat states you've never really paid attention to, they still have like really cool spots in them. There's some cool spots out there. Oh boy, webcamchat.com, hot girls, boys video chat. Let's put you in a timeout. There you go. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, that only 300 second you. Let's eliminate. How do I eliminate you? Remove. Watch removes the chat. I don't have any moderators on at the moment. Hide user on this. There we go. All right. Boom. They're gone. Yay. Webcamchat.com, hot girls and boys videos. You're gone. All right. Okay. Travis Wright 13, how do you think the shift of far more people working from home since the pandemic will change working culture around the world? Do you think the trend continues or phases back to offices? There will be some phasing back to offices, but I think commercial real estate is pretty screwed in the near term. There's a lot of companies that are spending a lot of money on a lot of empty office space right now, and they can look at their bottom dollar and say, hey, I can save a couple $1 million a year and just not renew the lease on this building or pay to close the contract and get out of this thing. There's a lot of them realizing that. And there's a lot of workers too that, I have a friend that works for state government, and they have no idea that she's not in Washington. That she's been living in Spain for the last year, doing all of her work. She wakes up at noon, has a lovely day, enjoys her day, and then works from 5 p.m. on, and she is loving it. She's in Galicia, and it's super cheap. She's got a beautiful apartment for like 600 euros a month, and she makes bank as an employee. So she is just saving money and just living her best life. And then one of her coworkers, she found out, has been living in New Zealand for the last like 2 years, and they never knew that she's been in New Zealand the entire time. Because it's all online, so they don't need to be. They aren't reporting to an office at somewhere, so they can be anywhere. They just aren't telling their boss, like, I'm not telling them that I'm living in Spain this entire time. So it's, It's I think there's a lot of change. I do think that there is something about like hanging out with people and socializing with them that spools something in the brain. Like being able to bounce ideas off each other is really important for a lot of like getting the creative juices going. But it's also frustrating to have to deal with people because some people just suck in groups. But yeah, I think the commercial real estate market in the near term, especially for white collar office space, is it's gonna. We've got way too much available space in a lot of these cities. Chit768, fellow Washington resident, how are you faring with our now 4:30 p.m. sunsets? It's so dark. Yeah. I don't like fallback. I like spring forward. I'm never up at 6 a.m., so I don't care if it's light outside at 6 a.m. But you know what? Everyone's up at 5 p.m., so it should be light outside at 5 p.m. I don't agree with the stupid do things for farmers. No, farmers are like 1% of the population. No one else is milking cows at 6 in the morning. Let's stop having things 6. Morning people suck. That's my opinion. You suck, morning people. Us vampires of the night unite. Swamp says you could install solar sails on asteroids and have solar winds move them. That is true. You could. Lots of ways to move those suckers out of the way. Ty Bullock. Have you been to Mount Baker? I have been to Mount Baker. I've skied Mount Baker many a times. One of my sisters went to school at Western, so I would go up there and go skiing with her a lot. Billy, Houston, you know of any good places to explore, search for goodies in North Texas? I haven't ever gone searching for goodies in North Texas. I know Texas has some of the biggest amylites in the world, but I can't remember where those were found. I mean, I've been to Amarillo, to the Cadillac Ranch, off I-40. But that's all I've done in North Texas. I haven't really done anything up there. I'll probably make it to West Texas, out to the Blue Origin launch site someday. That'll probably happen not too far away. Simply because I got friends that work there, and I would love to go see it sometime. But I'll probably be post-pandemic when I make it out there. But she's found all sorts of cool fossils in the mountain ranges that Jeff Bezos bought for Blue Origin. Mostly Texas is fossils. You'll find fossils all over the place because it's the ancient seafloor. Texas is basically one hill from the Gulf of Mexico up to like 4,000 feet. South Texas, you got Big Bend, which is awesome. Really cool area. But yeah, it's mostly fossils that you'll find. Sea fossils all through there. Amylites. Look for amylites, ammonites. You can get ones that are like the size of human beings. They're pretty awesome. Oh, we're at 506. We did it. We broke the barrier. We raised $1,000 on the day. Woo! So that means Houston's looking forward to slowing down because I had to watch toddlers all day and I'm whooped. Let's do a couple more questions and then tomorrow we'll pick up tomorrow with a regular show, probably around 12:30 Pacific time, somewhere around there. Yeah. Project Sun, talk about North Carolina. Ever heard about the time we almost nuked the state? Look up the 1961 Goldsboro B-52 crash. Well, they did that once there, and then they did once in the Savannah River, right? Where they accidentally, like a B-52 dropped a live nuclear bomb in the Savannah River. We've done it a couple of times where we almost like nuked our entire population while just flying nuclear bombs around. Aren't we just great that way? Yeah. Yeah. But Ghost of Homer's Ghost. How you guys doing in Oregon? I'm in Washington. Excuse me. But yeah, the atmospheric rivers are just pumping through here. It rained so much. The people in BC are doing worse. The Fraser River Valley is just a giant ocean right now. They are just flooded. And I heard they're like running out of food in the grocery stores because the trucks can't make it. There's so many washouts of the highways. The trucks aren't making it to some of the towns that make deliveries. So people are just, they're like eating beans and rice right now. So a lot of flooding in the Fraser River Valley. Yeah. Yes. And thank you all anonymous folks that are donating here. That's fantastic. These Charity Tuesdays, you guys are so rad. You guys have we've raised, how much have we raised so far? We raised what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've raised $7,000 so far for the Charity Tuesday shows. We've only done what, 4 or 5 of them? That's crazy. That is awesome. That is I've never raised that much money doing anything in my entire life. I can't think, I've started a concert series called No More School of Palooza. That was on the last day of school, my sophomore year of high school. And, I was happy to raise like $400 to help put that concert on. But we've helped people with multiple sclerosis, people with prostate cancer, children that are victims of abuse, stalking victims. You guys are rad. This is fantastic. This is the best. Tuesday charity shows are the absolute breast. They're absolute breast. They're the best. And I thank you guys so much for jumping on and doing these. These are fantastic. But I'm fading now. I need to not be talking anymore. Ghost or Homer's Ghost. Houston, I'm in Southeast BC. Not looking pretty good for the folks out west. I believe all our Southwest BC is fuel rationing. Yeah, they. One of the guys wrote me saying that they were limited to 10 gallons per car or something like that. Or 10 liters, maybe? Ooh, 10 liters, that's not very much. But yeah, there's, if we we'll go back to the Google Earth really quick. We'll talk about some of the areas that are flooding. So, this is the Fraser River Valley that comes out from the mountains here, the coastal range. And so we've got the Washington side and we've got the Canadian sides where Abbotsford is, Aberdeen, and Sumas. So Sumas, this place here, used to be a lake. This was a lake that the Canadian government did a gigantic public works project, and they drained the entire thing. So the Sumas River, which comes through here through the prairie, this was all just a huge lake that covered thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. And they made a series of dams and pumps, and they drained the entire thing, and it turned into some of the most fertile farmland that Canada has. Well, right now, this is underwater. This is a lake again. This is there's not enough pumps and dams to hold back the inches and inches and inches and feet of rain that have come in the last couple of months. And so there's a couple of old oxbows that I think were... So this is one of the cuts here of draining things. I was just reading a whole article about this. Oh yeah, I think this is some of the old oxbows that are in here that are now farmed lands. But yeah, this whole area is flooded. And you go west, go the east out to the Okanagan. So let's see here. We've got Kelowna, Merritt. So Merritt here is gone. They're all underwater. And then one of the highways had a huge washout and landslide. And everyone got trapped. Now to get rescued by helicopters. And then they just got more rain and more rain and more rain and more rain. It's absolutely just bonkers how much it's just been dumping through here. So hope you guys stay strong and make it through it, and rock and roll. There's another storm coming on Thursday for Thanksgiving over here. Cindy Ogden Ape. I started the Sherman Oaks Chamber of Commerce Street Fair in 1991, raised $100,000, had over 100,000 people attend in 3 days, and ran it for several years, and it's still going strong. That's pretty awesome. My No More School of Palooza is on its 20... When did I start that? 97? So it'll be 25th... I don't think I did one last year or the year before. So it will be the 25th annual because COVID made it so it didn't happen. But if they do one this year, that'd be pretty awesome. To be able to make something like that just keeps going. And it's all local high school kids that play in the bands, and they get to play in front of their friends. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. BW brand, 1 inch of water across 1 square mile, 17.4 million gallons of water. Yeah, it adds up in a hurry, man. Woo. Okay, folks, I got to check out, especially if I'm going to be able to talk again tomorrow and do the regular show. I want to thank everybody so much for donating on Charity Tuesday to the Prostate Cancer Research Institute. All the ad revenue goes directly to it, so that goal gets even higher. So another penny per view. So if we get several thousand views, that's another couple $100 that go to the charity as well. And the donation button will still be in the bottom right corner for folks that are watching later on the recorded versions. So you can feel free to click on that and donate and help out some more. And we can just bust past that $1,000 wall so much further. And yeah, so thank you so much. I'll see you guys in like 13 hours. We'll do this all over again. And hopefully we'll be talking about Big Green Day for GME. And yeah, right on. But you know what? It's time for your favorite. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ah!